Good afternoon and welcome to Focus on Education, your favorite afternoon show. Today we are discussing a critical issue where we say holding the education sector accountable, the watchdog role of media. So with me in the studio I have a fine journalist. He's a young man. He's also the Vice President for the Students' Union Government for the Lakeside Business College, Mr. Mohammed Shine Kamara. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good afternoon, viewers. And welcome you again today for today's edition. Remember, I was here a few weeks ago to discuss on, I think, what was the topic which I discussed on the last time?
I really can tell because I was not a presenter.
Alright. So, okay, educational dilemma. Yeah, that was the topic we discussed on a few weeks ago, and today we are here.
So, I want to say welcome again, once again.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
So, firstly, in your experience as a journalist, how can you define the watchdog role of the media, especially in the education sector?
Well, before going to the role for that matter, I would like to unfold the topic itself, the term watchdog. What really watchdog mean? For some people out there who are not part of the journalism activities, they might be thinking what the meaning of watchdog. You know, in journalism we have three categories of journalists. We have the watchdog, we have the lapdog, and we have the attack dogs. Yeah. So the watchdog here is a watchdog. It is a journalist that pile pressure on politicians, who watch politicians, who tell them, who watch in their face and tell them this is wrong for the people and this is good for the people, who always remind them of their good deeds, who tell them that this is not good for our people, who look out for their people. These are watchdogs. Then we come to the lapdogs. Lapdogs are journalists who are always answerable to politicians, who allow politicians to tell them what to do and what not to do. They always defend politicians outside there. Then we have the attack dogs. Attack dogs are journalists who come after their fellow journalists. The moment you see, you caution an action, an irrelevant action of a politician that is not good to our society, then a particular journalist will come after you because he or she is answerable to that particular journalist. So these are the three categories of journalists we have in journalism. We have the watchdog, the lapdogs, and the attack dogs. So now back to your questions. Now the role watchdogs play in the educational sector. A watchdog always checks the actions and also policies of the government in the educational sector. That is government spendings and what are the do's and the don'ts within the educational sector.
Yeah.
What are the responsibilities of the government to offer to the educational sector. So this is a coin topic which is very much important to discuss on, and it is very interesting.
Yeah.
So back to you.
So, let me just say, weeks ago, we hosted the vice chairman for a conference of principals, and he made a statement that said, governments are paying examination fees or dues for the NPSC and the BECE. So, in your own role as a journalist, have you ever watched into that situation, like the education sector should be accountable to you guys, saying, this thing was said, and this thing has been published to the general public that the government or the education sector is paying fees or dues for NPSC and BECE pupils, but yes, there are schools who are taking fees for that.
Okay. Now, have you ever understand or has it ever come to your notice that for Sierra Leone here, it is a mandate for the government to produce free quality education for students, for especially the basic and the junior and basic education, and also that of the senior education. Have you ever come across that? Checked our constitution, chapter 11, section 9, subsection 1 to 3. explains the details of how educational facilities are being offered, are supposed to be offered to our citizens. Now, if you check subsection 3, subsection 1 of the 1991 Constitution of Chapter 11, Section 9.
So can you quote that exact constitution?
The 1991 Constitution, Chapter 11, Section 9, subsection 1 to 3 explains the responsibility of a government to provide free quality education.
So what are those responsibilities that were highlighted in that constitution?
Now, subsection 1 under the section 9 of the 1991 Constitution explains that there should be a free quality education and equitable education for all, whether you black or white, whether you rich or poor, you should be educated entirely. That is, then also section 2 down to section 3 ends. Subsection 3, subsection 2 down to section 3 explains in details now that there should be free quality education. Now subsection 1 explains that there should be quality education, equitable, equal education. There should be access to education for all citizens of this country. Then section 2 to 3 now explains that there should be free, in fact education should be free. Okay. Education should be free for citizens in this country. I'm not saying about the tertiary education, but the basic and senior secondary school education should be free for all.
So the words that you're emphasizing on here within the Constitution is free and quality. So in your own time as a journalist, how would you define free and quality education? Okay. Now here, according to the section that I just quotes to you, now for my notice, since when this particular section was adopted, it was not working into, it was not looking into, and it was not working upon. Only the presence of President Julius Maada Bio, sometimes I can say he has tried. Of course, he has provided free education, although it is not quality. There is no quality. My question is, how can you define the free and quality education?
I'm coming. I just want to lay the premises before I explain what really free quality education is. Now, only Julius Maada Bio has provided free education, but it is not. There is no quality in it. The free education, in fact, is not even free 100%. Now, in this country, all those students that has already sat to their BECE and that of the NPSC exams, sometimes paid even more than 3,000 for them to be admitted in school. Can you call them free quality education? No. The education is somehow free. That is, when you are into the system, you cannot pay fees. But there are some starting responsibilities that the government are to offer. They are not offering it, even if the government is offering it, but they are not reaching to the layman. Now, the free quality education you ask me about here is the education. It is only free and quality where a penny, it is not spent by the educators, by the students. That is one. If the education is free, students are not expected to pay fees even for entrance. But now you can see where students are being asked for more than 3,000 to be admitted into schools. Is that education free? No. Maybe government is expecting the education to be free, but just because the free quality education is not well monitored, that is why I can say teachers are scamming students, parents, for them to pay an admission fee, which is very much bad. Then the quality here you can talk about. We can see anytime exams, that is external exams, are being conducted, we experience exams malpractice, which for me, if such activities is going on in this particular section of education we are living in, then that particular education is not quality. There is no quality in it. That is one. Then another reason which clearly explains education to be free and quality here is, let me say, sometimes we can see the moment you got promoted to SSST, that is to the worst level, teachers no longer teach students in classrooms. That is why you can even see the moment students are promoted to SSST, that is the worst level, they start gallivanting around asking for a syndicate because there is no proper tutoring in school. So when you, if you are considering education to be free and that of quality, then all those qualities all those qualities I have highlighted should be part of the educational sector if we are expecting it to be free and quality in fact.
So back to my question. So your role as a journalist, have you indulged in any form of investigating or holding the education sector accountable?
Absolutely yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
You have to be standing on
It
one
is
leg.
coin. It is coin. It is coin. I'm in between.
Okay.
Now the question you have already asked me have landed me into a very big dilemma position. Now here, sometimes when educational programs are being conducted, they invite journalists who will be there. But the moment you ask those people that are steering the educational sector of this country, they will not answer your question directly. In fact, sometimes they will not even answer it. So how would you know that this particular education is free and it has quality?
So what are your rights as a journalist?
Fine. My rights, section 25 of the 1991 Constitution explains clearly that I have the right to access information and to report on them. But these rights are not 100% given to journalists. So it is my right to ask the steerers of the educational sector to explain in details how the educational sector are being steered, whether it is free and the quality they are.
So have you done that as a journalist, as a watchdog for the public? Have you done that?
I have attempted to do so. That is one.
Mind you, we are live.
I know. I have attempted to do so. I have attempted to do so.
You have attempted
to do so.
You attempted, but you didn't do it.
I didn't do it. I think of sometimes the repercussion of it.
What are these repercussions?
Fine. Now, we said there should be an access to information and a right to report on information, whatever information. Although there are some limitations within these access to rights to information, but sometimes when you visit those ministries that are in charge of education, when you ask them to allow you to have access to information, maybe they will say, go and come to know, and they will not provide the right file that you are looking for. So how would you confirm that the education that is going on right now, if it is free and has quality?
Check. You fact check. That is the role of a journalist. So even if you are not given the authentic documents, you fact check it.
My sister, the educational sector, the particular education that is running right now in Sierra Leone, the thing is, yeah, there is nothing free.
So in your own capacity that you can work in as a journalist, have you, I'll repeat this question again, have you done that?
That is why I said,
because the role of a journalist is so
it is my role. It is my role. I've already explained my role as a journalist, so that I have the right to access information.
Yeah, the FAO.
Absolutely. So now, the thing here is, I can give a little bit credit to this government because they have already attempted the free quality education. They have attempted it compared to the past governments.
Okay.
That is President Kaba's own regime and that of Ernest Bai Koroma.
Okay.
Before their regime, this particular system of education was adopted. It is right in the constitution, you can check. Section 9, I repeat it again. Section 9 explains it clearly that education should be free and quality for all, especially the junior and the basic and senior secondary education. It should be free. You can check the constitution, it is right in there.
But according to this government, it's free for only government schools.
I'm coming. Now President Julius Maada Bio has started working on it. But there is but it is not there is no success in it. They started it, they have attempted, but there is no success in it.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was part of his campaign, it was part of his flagship that when I come into government, when I gain power, there will be free and quality education out there to people. But this free and quality education is not 100% working. In fact, it is not even 50% working. Yeah, it is not 50% working. It is working somehow, maybe 30%, not 50%, no.
It's not working.
It's not working.
So let's go where these issues of malpractice taking place, missing funds in the the education sector. Because here now, you are actually talking on behalf of all journalists, because you are a journalist.
Okay.
So, have you ever heard that this particular journalist actually investigating the education sector about malpractice, misinformed shortages of teachers?
Yeah, it has been happening. There are some journalists that has looking in some of them have looking into it sometimes, but
they looked into it.
They
Was
start.
that, okay.
There is one problem in Sierra Leone journalism.
Okay.
Let me tell you this one. Journalists will start unfolding issues, but they will never continue unfolding it. They will start exposing politicians. They will start exposing wrong roads.
They will start.
But
so you are
no
in
follow-up.
it. You are in it. You will start doing investigation.
Some journalists.
Hey, you said journalists in Sierra Leone.
In Sierra Leone, yeah. They start. Journalists in Sierra Leone. We start. We start. And I'm saying this for all journalists today, for us to continue our work. We are working, but some journalists in this country will start unfolding issues, but will never do a complete follow-up for us to educate the audience out there to know the right detail, to explain full details of it. We start unfolding, but we never continue it.
So as a journalist, what are some of the critical issues we are facing now in Sierra Leone education sectors?
Fine. As a journalist, the issues we are facing right now in the educational sector there is no 100% access to information. Not 100%. I highlighted the reason why I said so.
But there was this particular journalist
named Martha
that started an investigation and ended it, even though it took a while.
How was it ended? What was the outcome of it?
The outcome was she actually get what she wanted, because she was actually investigating the office of the president. So if you are saying there are actually journalists, I will take her as an example, Martha,
okay,
that started it and ended it well. So can you work in that capacity to actually mend these critics that we are actually facing in the education sectors?
If I have done that, or if I have seen a journalist that has started such a role and completed it.
My question was,
yeah,
what are some of the critical issues
we are facing?
We are facing in the education sector.
Fine.
In Sierra Leone. Then you drived me
to limited access to
education. That's why I went all the way to Martha as an example.
Fine. You can ask that journalist well if
it was everywhere. It was published. It was published.
It was published.
And as for me, she was one that made me to aware that we have the right to certain information, and we have to give proof. You have to have a screenshot of emails if you sent one. If you actually sent letters, you have to have a copy of the letters you sent, who received the letter. So it's from her I learned some of this.
Yeah, that is why I said some of the challenges we are facing. That is one, the right to access information. We are not 100% having access to educational information. Not only even educational information, but every other information in this country.
You don't have a right to it.
Yeah, fine. 100% access.
You don't have right to it.
Even you can start it tomorrow. Start your investigation. Visit the Ministry of Education and try to have access.
I bet you if I start, I will end it.
All right. Then you can go on. Then some of the challenges we are facing now, we have a political pressure of interference. Now, the moment
the question, I guess you have to understand.
No, you said the challenges we are facing.
I'm not saying you are facing. What are some of the challenges
journalists are facing?
Not journalists. What are some of the crises, the critical crises that currently happen in the education sector in Sierra Leone? That's my question.
Okay. The critical crisis of
or the critical issues
of the educational
sectors in Sierra Leone.
That is the issues. One, we have long before ago, we are having a ghost teaching system of education.
Okay.
Fine. Here, we have some teachers in the country. They are on payroll. Their names are running. Their salaries are running. They receive salaries without working for it. Their salaries running for teachers also, they are not even in existence. That is what we call ghost teaching.
Yeah.
Their names are on the payroll, their PIN code are there, but such teacher is not in existence. It has been happening. If I could fathom, few months ago, I was part of the delegation that was, let me say, delivering the tabs. The customized tabs are developed by the Ministry of Education. Fine. There was a tab developed by Ministry of Education. I was part of the delegation. I reported on that issue. I wrote stories regarding it.
Okay.
There was this project given to TY Memory. TY Memory was part of this project.
What is
the champion?
What does that stand for?
TY Memory is a company. It's a company that focuses on. That company focuses on IT, and also they focus on procurement.
Okay.
They bid for procurement activities, and then when they are given if they are being given the opportunity to procure, then they take up that responsibility. So TY Memory was given this responsibility to produce more than 1,000 tabs.
Okay.
For schools within the country. And I was part of the delegation after the TY Memory completed this project, and when they started distributing these tabs. This particular tab, the reason why it is developed is to eradicate the ghost teaching system in the country. These tabs has a solar light, and also it can exist. You can even a school will be even existing in a village where let me say there is no electricity, but still you will be able to use this tab. The tab is serving as a system where every morning a teacher will come in and sign in with their thumbprint to ensure that they are in school teaching. You understand? So, for instance, if time reaches for payment, for payment at the end of the month, at least your thumbprint will be on that tab. Let me say 18 times in a month. That shows that you are being regular in school.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why that particular tab was designed.
So do you think that's solved?
No, not 100% solved.
Okay.
Absolutely not 100%. There are still challenges within it, although the project is still ongoing. I'm not sure if those tabs have been completed, distributing to the ex-teachers, because according to statistics, there will be one tab per school. Each tab will have a tab, and each school will have a tab within the premises. So the head teacher or principal will be holding that tab every morning or in the evening. When a teacher comes to the school, they sign in with their thumbprint,
and they also sign out.
They sign out. Absolutely. So I don't know if that particular system, because I was part of the delegation, we started distributing the tabs, but after which, I cannot lie, I have not visited those schools to confirm if this particular system is still running. But it is. I'm planning to do so. I'm planning to do so anyway.
So this one, the ghost teachers are one of the crises.
One of the crises.
So are there any other crises again?
Absolutely, yes.
So can you enlighten them?
Now, also there is still abject poverty in the educational sector. How can I say?
Why?
What I meant for this is that there are people out there in the rural areas. Let me say the distance. Like for instance, some students travel. Some students travel from here to maybe way too long. They walk with their feet to school. There is no proper transportation system for them. So these students are still suffering for them to access
but their school buses are
not for everywhere. These school buses are just for free time. Sometimes in other cities within the country, but for some villages, no. So students are still suffering for transportation. That is one. The two, I understand that there is this school feeding program. There are some teachers receiving these rice and other basic materials for the feeding. They are not providing this food. They are not preparing this meal for the students. they use them for their own personal interest, which is still an active challenges within the educational sector.
So can you just name
Then also,
one or two schools that they are actually that the government or the education sectors is giving supplies to, but they are not doing what the supplies are meant to do?
No, I cannot. I cannot. Let me say names those schools for now. I cannot name those schools for my security and for my safety. I cannot. Absolutely, there are freedom of speech in the country, but you know there are some limitations to it. So still another challenges facing within the educational sector is that we are still seeing students that are students that have just sat to their BECE or primary schools exam to be admitted into schools. A particular system will ask them to pay more than even 3,000 to be admitted, especially those government schools that are making names in the country. The moment you wanted to admit your child here, you pay some amount of money. How can you say this? Is that education free? No. So these are the challenges the educational sector is still facing.
So, if you're just joining us, this is Romance Online TV, and the program you're watching is Focus on Education, holding an education sector accountable for the watchdog role of media. With me in the studio, I have a journalist and also a vice president for the Lixal College Business Students Union Government, Mr. Mohammed Shine Kamara, and we are streaming live on TikTok and on Facebook. You can join the conversation by sending in your comments, and we can read it out. If you have questions, just send it there. We can also answer your questions. So you again, Mr. Mohammed Shine. So just now you made mention of the popular government schools that are actually requesting for money to be paid for admitting kids to school. That some of us are aware of, and I think it was last year. Yeah, it was last year that a particular parent made a video and it went viral.
Absolutely.
I actually don't know the school, but it went viral. So, as a journalist, the watchdog role, according to the topic. So, have you seen any journalists that actually investigate to know the bottom of that particular video that went viral, or we are just our journalists just reporting now for things that are trending?
No, maybe a journalist has already done an investigation regarding that leaked video.
Okay.
In fact, the video was not leaked.
It was deliberate something.
Yeah, it was deliberately released. I have not seen a journalist. Maybe it has happened, but I have not seen it. It is not.
You as a journalist,
I have not done that.
You are a watchdog.
I have not done that.
that.
I have not done that.
So are you doing your role as a watchdog to the public?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, not 100% because I'm not perfect.
You are not perfect.
I'm not perfect.
But if you want to hold the education sector accountable to the public, do you think you are in that capacity to hold them? If you have not actually done this particular investigation.
I am in the capacity.
So have you worked to the authority of your capacity?
The only thing that can get hold of me not to complete complete that particular task is that I explained to you there is a right to access information, but that particular right is not 100% in this country.
But if we are talking about rights in this one, I think that the parents will actually want to talk because that thing might be bothering her for a long. She wants to speak out. And we stand, journalists, they stand as what? Voice to the voiceless. They are the voice of people. So if you should have done work in your capacity to use your authority,
if I could fathom on this, I think by last year, one of my relatives visited a school. He was trying to get his daughters to be admitted to the school. It was that particular task was 100% completed, 100% incompleted. It was because the reason why it was incomplete, he said the money demanded by that school was very high and he cannot afford it. Now, I started the investigation, but all my sources that provide some information to me regarding that particular investigation ask for anonymity. You are a journalist, you know what anonymity means.
And you didn't grant it to them?
That is why I granted the anonymity. That is the reason why I cannot even say their names out.
I know.
Absolutely, I granted the anonymity. In fact, that is why at the initial stage when you asked me if I have started investigation on this particular issue, I said no. That is why I said yes and no. Because as for me, the moment a source asks for anonymity, it will be a risk for me to carry out 100% that particular investigation, because we know we have guiding rules, we have bodies that are looking on us. That is the IMC.
Yeah. Fine.
And the IMC is very professional. They are very professional to expel you out of the field. If you cannot conduct your investigation well. So if you are not certain, if you are not sacrosanct of your investigation, then I'm advised you cannot put your investigation out. So I was not certain with all those information. That is why when they asked me at the initial stage if I have started an investigation regarding this issue, I said yes and I said no.
You were not certain. Absolutely. But your sources gave you clue.
And they asked for anonymity.
Hey, I'm coming.
They gave me clue. They gave me clue.
And I guess they mentioned some schools or some teachers that were involved. Even though you are granting, the rule of IMC says that if you have more than one people that God help me. If you have more than one people, you have to cover. You have to have more than one fact. You have to cover all those sides. So you're having two sources, and they have.
Both of them ask for anonymity.
Yeah, but they mention the school. You are not going to the school saying this person A or person B said it. According to my source, I guess that's what you should use.
Listen. I'm still saying this. In fact, not only even within the government that are putting limitations to the right to access, the right to access information, or not only the government sector is depriving journalists to access information. Even the layman out there, they are depriving the journalists.
You do not have, if you don't even grant you the access.
Listen.
The rule of IMC says you publish your story. It's not even down that
even
in the time of publication.
Even private institutions, the moment you visit private institutions to have them investigated, they will restrict you for you not to have access to their information. And as a journalist, it will be very much unprofessional for you to use clandestine system to access information. You know what does that mean? And if I attempt to access information that is illegal, it is called clandestine access to information. So I don't want to involve myself into that. That is why I sometimes not dive too much into such investigation. I hope you understand.
I'm going back to what I was saying.
Okay.
You have more than one side to the story. And if you're having a difficult time to access a particular information, that should not stop your stories to go out. According to IMC, you publish a story and you note it down at the end of it that at the time of publication, these institutions do not give us ears or do not give us access to the information.
For you to publish such information out there, it should be a proper document to support your claim.
Your claim. You send.
So I was unable to lay my finger.
You didn't lay your finger, but I guess as a journalist, you sent emails that you want. You actually need access to that information.
Now listen.
Hey, the question is, you sent emails. Yes or no?
I couldn't send any email to anyone.
So that's why you can't publish your story, because you didn't work according to the IMC rules.
Listen.
If you actually sent emails, then you have a screenshot of that emails. You have something that you can verify to the IMC court. If you have calls that you guys crossed with, there's screenshots of it.
I couldn't and I didn't.
So you didn't. You couldn't do it and you didn't do it. So that automatically you didn't work in your role as a watchdog for the public.
Listen.
You didn't work in your role as a watchdog to the public.
No, you cannot say so. You cannot say I didn't work my role as a watchdog to the public.
But you didn't fulfill the full process for you to have access to it.
That is why in Sierra Leone, I explained it to you at the initial stage of our conversation. I told you that the system of access to information, the right to report, we are still working on it for it to be 100% clear. The IMC is still working on it, and although there is some improvement on it now,
did you know?
There is some improvement
Did you know why Martha won the case?
Why?
Because she did send emails, she sent letters, and she was having copy of everything she was doing. Even though they didn't grant her, even went to a point where she sent email to the Bank of Sierra Leone. They didn't even give her the access to the right. They gave her something like fake documents, and she went through it, asked people to go through it, and boom. And she was having all those as evidence.
Now listen. Now
it might take you.
That is what I said.
If you could,
that is what I said.
If your premise
that's
would have been
information. That's
come on.
That's what. Listen,
Mr. Shines, if your premise would be come on.
Sissy, that investigation was incomplete. I can tell you, it was incomplete.
And I can bet you it was complete.
It was incomplete. It was incomplete because, yeah. She shows
it's all over the media. If you can go through your phone,
it was all over.
It actually pop up.
There was no proper documents towards that. She tried to unfold. Listen.
She tried.
Yeah, she tried.
You didn't try that same way she tried.
I didn't.
So,
yeah,
she
tried. That's why I said because
didn't work.
She was restricted. She was restricted to have access to those information she had always wanted to access.
But after they went to the court,
that is why they
gave her what she wanted. Come on, you could have laid up with that. It would take her years, and I could accept that one. Because matter can take about 2 years before even coming to an end of it.
Now listen.
I'm back to you,
listen,
Mr. Shines. Did you play your role as a watchdog to the public?
I'm coming.
You are coming when you need to answer this.
In Sierra Leone, even Africa.
Yes or no? Did you?
I'm coming. Let me lay I want to lay a premises before answering your question. Now listen, in Africa here, not even just in Sierra Leone, in Africa or even in the world, you cannot pay for information. It is somehow illegal in journalism, right? If you can check the ethics of journalism, you cannot pay for information. You cannot pay for information.
You cannot pay for
information. Yeah.
You cannot pay.
Now, for instance, if I visit this school, I want to carry out an investigation regarding an exams malpractice or any other issues that is illegal in the educational sector. The moment if
God,
listen, I'm coming. If I try to have access to the information of this school,
okay.
if I visit the principal or the headmaster or the headmistress of this particular school, if that particular individual refuses to give me an information to that, then if I go around and pay another staff for me to have access to that information, it is illegal, right?
So how would the public or IMC know you paid to have access to the information? You are a journalist, you ought to know better.
Listen. That's why I said it is illegal. It is illegal.
You made mention of I'm a journalist and the Department of Journalism.
That is why I mentioned clandestine access and means of accessing information. Because now for instance, if I come here, I ask you, Sissy, where are the documents of these schools? I need so information from this school. Then you deny to give them access. Then I pay the staff. I give you a particular device and I say, go and plant this device into the principal's office.
That's because it's illegal. That I know.
Then also
record somebody.
Then also if you pay a staff to go and steal a file in the office for you to have access to that information.
Automatically, if you have paid, you have not worked in your role as a journalist.
It is
you didn't do your findings well.
Fine.
So you as a journalist, you are not an investigative journalist. It's a crime for you. But if I, Fatima Sise, is an investigative journalist, I tell you, there are some rules that govern.
For you to be an investigative journalist, it is by choice.
Fine,
There
it's
is
by
no,
choice.
there is no separate license being given to journalists to be an investigative journalist.
But there are some rules that are not to them.
What rules? It is by choice. I can even say today I want to be an investigative journalist. As long as I'm working towards the principles and the code of ethics of the IMC, I have the right. As long as I'm working within the jurisdictions of the IMC.
Yeah.
So that is why I said there is no pointed investigative journalist. So say this particular journalist should be purely an investigative journalist. No, it is by choice. It is by choice. You will have the willpower to say, I will not work for any media organization. I'm going to be an investigative, or even if I'm going to work for a media organization, I'm going to purely act as an investigative journalist. It is by choice. So now back to the topic itself, because we should dive properly into the educational sector. That is where we are here. That is what we're here for.
We're actually there.
So okay, then we can continue the conversation.
We're actually rounding up because time is not in our favor. So quickly before we go, what message do you have for young students out there who are aspiring of becoming a journalist?
Okay. For those out there aspiring, intending to become journalists in this country, I advise you guys to be somehow proactive. What I mean is that you should start reading your books before going to university. Then also I advise you should go to university there and have the degree to become a journalist, because those days have gone where you will be calling yourself journalist without
you have documents
without you being a professional for it. That is why we are having bloggers. We're having fake bloggers now online. You understand? We're having fake bloggers.
Yeah.
They are bloggers. They don't even know the do's and don'ts of a journalist. It is the reason why out of 100% of Sierra Leone population, 60% is not recognizing the traditional media.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because they rely on those fake bloggers. You know, journalists, for us to publish an information, we have to cross-check, fact-check, and double-check that information before we publish it.
It should not be biased.
For the bloggers now, the moment they lay a finger to this information, they will not check it whether it is credible or not. They will just send it to media. So you as a journalist, a professional journalist, will be out there processing your information, investigating for you to confirm if that information is credible.
At the time you publish, you're not
it is out there. And you know, for a news to be credible, to be important out there, it should be timely.
Yeah.
It should be timely. And that news will only go out there if the time is due. And before you working on your information and then send your story out there, then in fact before you imagine, it will be out by the bloggers without cross-checking whether it was credible or not. So my last message out there here is I'm sending this message to the IMC to start regulating the bloggers. To start regulating the bloggers. If they really want the general populace to still have respect for the traditional media, they should be regulating the bloggers to ensure that they should be professional somehow. Although they let me say, they will not expect them to 100% be professional, but somehow let them be professional 60%. In fact, even their write-ups, if you can check, I have been piling pressure on those bloggers online. If you can check, I have been monitoring their movements, their write-ups, piling pressures on them, telling them that this particular write-up is not correct. Your sentences and even the words, the choice of words are not good.
So that it was stealing from people's posts.
If
Copy and paste.
It was even the reason, I was one of the reasons why Born to Blog posted that each time journalists sees bloggers, they feel intimidated. We involved into some issues. I myself from Star TV and another journalist from AYV. You understand, from AYV. We involved into some issues with IB Blog and that of the Born to Blog. The other day it was posted, and if you can check my own account again, I screenshot those posts and reposted it and I comment on it. I clearly tell them that I told them that both of us, it is fact that both of us are, let me say, reporting on issues, but the difference here is we cross-check, double-check, and fact-check information before we publish it. And our own profession of in that of the journalism sector is way beyond commentary, because if you can check, those bloggers, they are running commentary and we are not. Sometimes I can see the moment they see an accident, those bloggers are even invading people's privacy, which is very much bad. And the moment they see an accident occurred on the street, it is illegal. If you are professional enough, you can tell me that it is unethical for you to post a casualty with a blog. It is bad. But check those bloggers that are reporting an accident. If they are taking measures of that, they are not. So my message here is, I'm talking to the IMC Code of Conduct to start regulating those bloggers, and also to the students out there that are aspiring to become journalists. You should be professional enough. If you want to be a professional journalist, go out there and study the journalism itself before you become a journalist. It is good for you, it is good for your career. And also, you should be following these professional journalists, like what I have been doing. Before coming into the journalism field, I have been mentoring on Abdulrahman Kamara, my boss at Star TV, Umar Fufana, and Samuel Wise Bangura, and also
you have something in common here.
See, these are my four mentors: Steve Blyden and
Umar Fufana,
Abdulrahman Kamara, and Samuel Wise Bangura. Currently, one of my main mentors right now, the person I'm mentoring, it's because we attended the same schools and he's doing well into the journalism sector. That is Victor Jones at EYP. We attended WAM collegiate and he's really making us proud. And also, I encouraged students that are aspiring to become a journalist to walk into the capacity to look into those capacity, to start following those professional journalists, and also
the giants
in the country. So
we have something in common, though.
Absolutely, no.
Because I'm actually a little bit into Samuel Wise and Umar Fufana. So those are the people. Mam Khadija from Liberty, Mebekaba from Liberty.
As for me,
those are my people.
As for me, the first individual I started mentoring is Abdulrahman Kamara. In fact, as of now, he's one of the best media analysts in the country.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's very good in analyzing issues on media. So I don't know if the programs are already ended or not.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us today. It was really enjoyable with you. I just hope to have you again here in the studio with me.
You are always welcome. Yeah.
And we have come to an end of today's edition of Focus on Education. We just want to say big thank you again to our guest for coming. A thank you to the production team and to the producer, Wina Doman, that actually produced this edition of Focus on Education. And I am your presenter, Fatima Tassisi. Till next week Monday, have a lovely weekend and stay out of trouble.